Oh my god! Alright, we're back at the OG shop getting back to work on James Brown. Now I did have a few goodies show up for today, nothing like real exciting, just some hardware pieces. Got the intake bolts, water pump spacers, the oil restrictor for the turbo, the 3-bar map sensor from EFI Source. All that's sitting in that passenger seat right there. Like I said, nothing real exciting with that. But we are going to get started on the rear end today. If you missed some of the earlier videos, we went to the junkyard and pulled out an 8.8 out of an Explorer. And that is this dirty pig right here. Got this spare axle and a throttle body for 126 bucks, which is sick. But obviously it's pretty corroded. So I picked up a couple goodies you can see in that bag over there. Got a wire cup wheel and some flap disc, cutoff wheels and stuff like that. Leaf ring purchase have to come off, and then I'll relocate the brake line mount there somewhere. And then the whole thing, I'm going to tear it apart completely, get all the brakes, rotors, backing plate, all that off of it. I might leave the interior shit. Well, no, because I'm going to pull the axles for now anyway, just so it's lighter, easier to move around. But I'll probably leave the center section in that for now. But yeah, and then I've got to take this like panhard bar mount deal thing off there, because that doesn't need to be there. That's unnecessary weight. And then I'm going to spend probably 4 or 5 years just wire wheeling and flap disking the entire thing as much as I can, trying to knock off all of the flaking and clean it up a little bit. Now I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to get the axle completely done in today's video. It's not that it's like really difficult work. It's one of the more simple axles to narrow, but it is time consuming, especially when you're going to try to get rid of all the rust. Because I know that it looks rough, but it is still very, very solid. And I do want it to look kind of nice, and that's why once I'm done with cleaning it up and narrowing it and all that, I'm going to gut it completely. So I might as well just do that now. I'll wait. I'm going to gut it completely, and then I'm going to take it over to Clarkston to my boys at Line to Line Coatings, and my homie Sean there is going to sandblast the entire thing and powder coat it black for me. So what I'm going to do, since I'm here by myself right now, pull out the engine hoist, get this thing fucking chained up, throw it on our brand new fabrication table, and then get to work on it. So I'm gonna get the axle set up here, and then I'm probably just gonna throw some headphones in and just bust this one out for as long as it takes, really. So I guess let's get to the montage. Trying to channel my inner Stacy David for this one. Got the axle all stripped down aside from the center section, obviously the yoke and the little bit of cut off drive shaft that's left, and the speed sensor right here. I'm assuming this is the speed sensor. I don't know what else it really would be. Anyway, yeah, got it all stripped down. I know that some of you are still doubting on how well this is going to clean up because it is pretty rusty, especially for you southern guys. Anyway, the reason we stripped it down this far is because we need to get accurate measurements, and the best way to do that is off this machined surface here. This will be probably the most accurate way to get a clean measurement off of these axle tubes. And then we can just take the measurement right to the face of this center section here, because that'll be the same for both sides. And then while the axles are out, I'll show you guys the actual difference between them. There you can see this is the passenger side one, this is the driver side one, and here is the spare one that I picked up. There you can actually see the difference. That is 30 and a little over an eighth. Same spot on this one is, yeah, 27 and almost a quarter. So yeah, 3-inch difference. So before I take the flap disc and the wire cut brush and everything to this to try and clean it up, I need to cut off these mounts. These are the leaf spring perches, and these are for the sway bars. I don't think I'm going to try and save these. One, because that's probably going to be about where I want to weld this. Two, I don't have a plasma cutter here, so I'm not going to be able to cut these super cleanly. With a cutoff wheel, they don't like to make real tight radiuses. So what I'm most likely going to do is cut right along the center there, and then make a couple of straight cuts right there, and then this way, and then I'll take the flap wheel and everything to them later and clean them up. All right, oh shoot. All right, we got the axle tubes all knocked off of most of their scaling. I still have to cut the tabs off, but I've got a buddy with a plasma cutter. I'm gonna see if I can borrow that maybe tomorrow or the next day. But check this out. So here is exactly what it did look like, all gross and flaky and scaly. And then all I did was take this cup brush and just go over the whole thing. This is what it looks like right now. Let me go turn these fans off. Yes, I was using both of these exhaust fans to blow all the dust out of here. So that's why I still should have been wearing a mask, but it really wasn't that bad. Anyway, this is what it looks like right now. That is so much better. It honestly looks like just a straight casting. I would say you could paint this and it would look fine. And then this is with a little bit of flap disking. I know it's gonna look pretty crappy. It honestly looks worse than that because it's so spotty, but it is much, much smoother. I did end up spending too much time on this one. I should have done all of the flap disking on that one, but like I said, hopefully tomorrow or the next day I'm going to borrow the plasma cutter, get all these tabs off. I'm probably going to make my cut right in here somewhere because I don't want it to be too far out. I don't want it to be too far in because I'm going to weld these so that the axle tubes don't spin in the housing. So I'm going to weld those, and I don't want a bunch of heat all in one area. So I'm going to do this here and then these there. I would say that is a pretty good amount of progress for the day. So I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys, golly, I am freaking dirty. That didn't make it any better. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. In the next one, I'm hoping that we can get around to actually cutting the mounts off, getting the axle tube cut, weld it all together, weld the new mounts from the old axle, weld the mounts from the old axle onto this one, get the geometry all right, and then try to take it to line-to-line coatings and get it all coated and sandblasted so the thing will look pretty nice. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 2, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.